Buenos dias, good morning everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is deyaniracavazos and I'm an LPC based in the Rio Grande Valley, the state of Texas. We're starting off this vlog a little differently. I'm in my car right now. I'm going to be heading out to the post office really quick to deliver a package for one of my friends. We do like a yearly blind date with the book swap, and so this is what I ended up making for her. I'm really excited to see what she thinks about this book, so I'm gonna go ahead and go deliver that, and then after I will be back to work on progress notes and also get my movement in for the day. Today's a Monday, and if you've been around on my channel for a while, you know that Mondays are the days when I don't see therapy clients and work on progress notes or also admin work, and then self-care is usually what I do. I am gonna go ahead and head out and bring you all with me. So I just finished delivering. I sent the package off to the post office. Hopefully my friend loves the book. I'm back home and I decided that I wanted to work on progress notes out here in the living room today. And that is what I love about this little desk that I can just wheel over anywhere that I want. I love that because some days I want to work in my therapy office, others in the bedroom, others out here. Like, it's just nice to have that variety where I can just move things around. And I'm going to have the house to myself, so I'm going to go ahead and just watch Heartland right now, which is what I'm watching. There's like 17 seasons of that show. So I'm going to go ahead and watch that in the background. And I have a lot of different things that I want to talk to you all about. One of them being that I started Headway. In my last video, I talked about how it has been hard because I had a slower month of work. I had clients who were transitioning out of therapy. And so I decided that I really wanted to be preventative, especially with how we're seeing things go on in the US. Financially, just really hard times that a lot of folks are going through. And so one of the things that I chose to do in pivoting was to also offer insurance. And I decided to go through Headway with that. But I'll talk to you all a little bit more about that later on in this vlog. For right now, let's get to working on progress notes. The bane of all of our existence, but the thing that has to be done. Really important. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. Since the last time I talked to you all, the boundaries that I've set and what I've tried to do has really helped me with just getting back into the swing of things, because I was definitely in a little slump with the whole progress note situation, and I don't doubt that along the years in my career it'll happen again. But it was nice to just set boundaries for myself, and right now I'm just feeling like, yeah, I could bust out some notes, no problem. Today just happens to be one of those days, but sometimes you're going to have the other kind of day that I showed in the last vlog where you just do not want to do the things. And it's okay to chip away as much as you can, but also take a step back when you need it. And today just happens to be a different day in a different week, where because of the steps back that were taken, I feel better and I can go ahead and do what I need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and write a little to-do list for myself right now for the day and just get started and stop stalling. So I've gotten 5 notes done so far, and I'm going to go ahead and take a little break and start making lunch, and then I'll keep writing some more notes. What's up, girl? Okay, everyone, so it is currently 2 p.m. and I ended up finishing 7 out of the 10 notes that I wanted to finish. And so for right now, I think I'm good to stop, and I'm going to go ahead and just rest for a little bit, and then I'm going to walk on the treadmill and get my workout in. PCOS update: because I am in a calorie deficit, I like to wait until like lunchtime some days when I'm feeling the effects of that. And so if I wait till lunchtime, I feel like I've had like more food in me for the day, so I have more energy to show up and give to my workout better, versus if I were to do it after breakfast. So I'm gonna do that and just check to make sure that all of this footage is coming out okay. So far, this is how my no client work day looks like, and this is pretty typical. Sometimes I either start the morning with the self-care activity, and then I get into breakfast and doing notes, and other days I might just kind of reverse that depending how I'm feeling, and today was one of those days where I reversed it, and I'm gonna end up doing more self-care later in the day or afternoon. So yeah, how have you all been doing and how have you all been feeling? Let me know in the comment section. How's work going? How's school going if you're a student? How's life going? I would love to read about how things are going for you all right now. So I'm gonna give myself probably like 15-20 minutes and then I'll start my workout and I will talk to you all then. Satisfying you while I keep bleeding. I don't know why you act like you're innocent. You wanna take a piece of my heart again. I'll get you up, cause I just don't want you. Something in your eyes, the way you stare me that I like. I wanna let you go, but it's like something else me tight. You might break my heart tonight, but I'm gonna hold it tight. Oh, it feels like yellow, yellow. It hurts like yellow, yellow, yellow. You have to let me go. Yellow, yellow. It hurts like yellow. We tried too many times. Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. It is the next day. So as you saw this morning, I was doing content creation things and I just posted a video this morning over on Instagram and TikTok, and it's a book recommendation video. I love doing those so much, and I know that the people over on Instagram and TikTok really love those videos also. So that is like one way that I also market myself. A lot of clients who ended up finding me have let me know in the past that they found me through a book recommendation video, and then they just happened to find out that I was also a therapist, that I also was a therapist in Texas. So today I'm finally sitting down to chat with you all about some updates, because last time when you last saw me, I was talking about the struggle right now with the economy. So many of my clients are going through it, and I'm sure so many of your clients are going through it also. We're probably all seeing a lot of job loss happening, people struggling economically. And so naturally, if you've grown up low income, you know that naturally when something like this happens, the first thing you do is take a look at your expenses and see what you can knock out of there. And for a lot of folks, unfortunately, that ends up even being like therapy or any type of medical care or even extracurricular kind of things. Because when you're struggling economically, you do what you have to do to make sure that you're okay. Because let's take it back to Therapy 101. A lot of folks in our communities are struggling with just their basic human needs, let alone having the funds for their medical and mental health care. So it is extremely frustrating to see that happening as a therapist. And listen, I at least have the peace of mind of knowing who and what I voted for. Someone who I think is a therapist, you never know online. They had mentioned in my last video that they didn't really think it was fair to say that who a therapist vote for impacts their communities and impacts ourselves. And so my main question as a therapist is, what is going on with counseling programs? Because how in the hell are there people coming out of their counseling programs not being able to recognize the systemic barriers that our clients face? And I don't know if it's different because I went through the clinical rehabilitation counseling program, and I did that for undergrad and straight into my master's. So I stayed within that same program, and it's really big on people with disabilities, differing abilities, understanding the systemic barriers that are in place that are not allowing our clients to get the care that they need. We're taught about the hierarchy chain within the United States and how people are treated differently based on their skin color, based on the languages they speak. One of the big questions that all of the students were asked back when I was taking my ethics courses was to help you get into the perspective of communities that are undocumented from different racial or ethnic backgrounds, to help you get as close as possible to understand their lived experiences, and that if you were in their exact position, had grown up with their cognitive ability, with the resources that they had, that you would end up doing and making the same choices in order to meet those basic human needs. And grad school is the place to unlearn, to learn, to be challenged. And I do remember when we were asked the question about if you had to flee from another country and you were labeled as undocumented, would you do it if it meant helping your family survive? Or if you had to steal food to help your family survive, would you do it? So we were constantly trained and put in these ethical dilemmas to really understand what could lead a human being to make the kind of choices that society that doesn't face those same barriers and those same issues wouldn't even think about, even though they should. And so it was really interesting for me to read that comment. And I definitely wrote that person a long essay, but like with anything in grad school, it is an invitation to learn. So you can go all through your grad school experience and choose not to learn and choose not to be open-minded and just get straight A's in your courses and come out being the therapist that truly didn't allow themselves to be transformed and changed to help their clients the way that they really need. That can happen. Some people choose to opt out. But in that case, my question is, why put yourself through that grad school experience and through that program if you aren't going to fully be open-minded and allow yourself to really unlearn harmful ways of thinking and believing so that we can be the best that we can for our clients? Make no mistake that who we vote for does impact our communities, because I want to encourage all of us to know that we have a say in the way that things are going in this country. So yeah, I always like being transparent about that on my channel, because I don't want someone to hop on and be like, ooh, I have just found myself a fellow MAGA therapist. That would actually be my worst nightmare. If you came onto my channel and you thought that we were all gonna be cool with that kind of energy or that kind of belief system, that is not welcome here. But what is welcome is you choosing to come along to unlearn. If you are currently in an unlearning process, I would recommend not commenting things like that, because they live on the internet and things like that can be traced back to you as a therapist. Also, I will say it is interesting because during my own unlearning process, because there were things that I had to unlearn, belief systems that I had to unlearn in grad school to be a better therapist. Moving on, I have my handy dandy notebook here of all the things that I wanted to chat with you all about. So for this week, I currently have 8 clients lined up. Last week, I ended up having 14 clients. It was really busy. And something new that I choose to do to evolve myself, my practice, was to try Headway. While I was yapping it up with some of my friends who happen to also be therapists, we were chatting about like different ways to kind of evolve and like the struggles that we're facing right now. And so if you all have seen me throughout the years, it was not something that I ever really worried about, of not being able to find clients. But with how things are right now, definitely feeling the pressure. And so naturally, when you're faced with things like that, you have to choose to evolve or choose to stay the same, but you might get the same results and not really see those benefits. So my one step that I took was signing up for Headway. One of my counselor friends just talked about it with me, and I said, you know what, let me give it a try, because worst case, I don't like it and I decide not to do it. But I've gone through the process, and so Headway takes care of the credentialing. It's just my job to fill out everything that they need me to fill out. And that process was time consuming, not gonna lie. Like, I did it in a week, but it was still time consuming, and I was doing it in between clients because I wanted to get it done as quickly as possible. And also with Headway, what I was told was within the first 30 days, you have to lock in a therapy client for them to continue to work with you. And so I kind of went through my current clients and asked myself, like, who has this in insurance, so I can go ahead and reach out to them and see if they'd be interested in that. I'm not the type of therapist that's ever going to try to force a client to do something like that. So if I wouldn't have found a client who wanted to sign up, then just Headway was not going to be for me, and that was okay. But thankfully I was able to find a client who had the insurance that I am credentialed with. And so right now I'm credentialed with Cigna and Aetna. Yay! I went through that, and honestly it was really quick. Within that 1 to 2 weeks I was already credentialed with Cigna. That's really cool. I just made it like right in time. And so I'm in the process of kind of waiting to be credentialed with like Blue Cross and some other insurances. So we'll see how that goes. I ended up already seeing my first client. I was nervous about that. It's a client that I already had, so thankfully that helped ease some of that anxiety because they've been with me for a while, so we could just kind of try this out together in a way and just see how it goes. And I'm really happy because that client gets to pay way less for therapy, and then I still get to get paid. I definitely feel like the rates are reasonable, and like all therapists, we all wish we got paid more, right? But I think for the current times and how things are, it was a good option for the rates that they're willing to pay right now. And so that is great because I did not want to mess with any credentialing things. Like I really did want to be walked through that. And shout out to Allison over on Headway because she really was amazing to work with, and she met with me through video and texted me and walked me through how to do things. And if that's something that you're interested in as a clinician, definitely send me a DM over on Instagram and I can send your information to Allison so she can connect with you. I couldn't recommend working with her enough. She really was so sweet and encouraging through the whole process. So just thought I would share. I've also noticed that Simple Practice literally just sent out an email this week about them now doing credentialing for therapists. So 2 options there to consider if you've been thinking about doing insurance. For me personally, if I had the choice, I would have just stuck with private pay forever. I love the flexibility of that and how different that is. But with any business, if you face any kind of hardships or there's blocks along the road, we have to evolve, you know? And so that was something that I had considered for a while. I had considered insurance ever since I became a therapist, like going back and forth and should I do it? Should I not do it? And ultimately I was just really comfortable and good, and I didn't need to do it for a while. And the more that things went on and we started seeing the financial state of things and I started seeing how my clients were affected, I knew that it was time. What I decided to do with Headway was still keep my Simple Practice because just in case, like you never know, maybe you don't like Headway. So I didn't really want to have my clients' info on there. I wanted to keep everything on my EHR system. So what I end up doing is still sending them like the intake paperwork, the client portal link through Simple Practice. But when they sign up, if they're going to use their insurance, I also send them the Headway invitation. That way they can go ahead and upload their insurance card and information and all of that. And this was something that I learned along the way. Okay, so I'm sharing all of these little things with you all, but when I am on Simple Practice, what I end up doing is putting the charge, because you know, when you have the little client information on there and their appointment on your calendar, on the bottom, it'll have the cost of therapy, so that way you can charge your client after. And so on there, I put 0 for my client. That way they don't get double charged, like with their insurance and with that. So that was a little thing that I learned along the way, and that I learned through the little tutorials and through talking to Allison and all of that. So definitely know that you get walked through the process, and it's okay to ask a billion questions. In full transparency, I just started Headway in November, so I'm not gonna sit here and tell y'all like this is amazing, I've been doing it for so long. I feel like you really need time to sit with something to know if you like it, if it works for your practice. So I'm just sharing this like real time as I'm doing it. Simple Practice, like I will die on that hill. You will have to rip my Simple Practice away from me. It is comfort. It has worked for me for so long. Not sponsored. I just love it. I love it. And I have been reached out to by other EHR programs to try their EHR system, and I've always said no. I've always been transparent. No, I love my Simple Practice. I'm not about to move all my clients' data somewhere else. Another therapist might be okay with that, but not me. I'm a creature of comfort. Like if I've found my thing that I love, you can't move me from there. I love it. And we'll see if Headway is that for me. So far, I feel good about it. And there's like conflicting things just with insurance in general, but as far as like how Headway works, so far I feel good about it, and I will keep you all updated on how things go, because the goal is to maybe have like 3 to 4 clients on there that help balance out the slower weeks or the slower months as well. Like summertime gets slow, okay? But honestly, you guys, like, come closer. You know, honestly, if we're chatting about this, I have tracked my income for the past 3 years. I have tracked what it looks like. Patterns have always been the same. This year, patterns are so wonky. They're really, really wonky, and I'm still okay financially, but it's just throwing me for a loop how much of an impact, like economically, we are facing in this country, because I'm not able to predict what my income will look like. And that's really scary in that sense. And I want to be honest with you all about that. I've never had that issue because every year income has looked the same and my strategies have worked. And I'm going through a period where I'm having to evolve and try some new strategies. And it's not fun. Not gonna lie to y'all. It's not fun, but I love what I do. I love my business. And when faced with the challenge, this Virgo shows up for the challenge and tries to make things work, you know? So I'm gonna see how things go. Thankfully doing okay, but it would be really nice to get like 3 to 4 clients. And so I did end up getting 3 new clients last month. We went through the phone call, we started intake paperwork, but I don't really classify them as getting a new client until I've had them for our first, second session. Then I'm like, okay, you're staying with me, you found your therapist, we found each other. So for now, I'm still kind of like tentative and still making sure to market, because you never know. Someone might come for 1 to 2 sessions and be like, nah, you're not the therapist for me, or it's just not something that I want to continue to do because things might have come up for them with life. So I'm definitely trying to find my clients who like have been searching to find their therapist, who have goals, who want help in reaching those mental health care goals. Some of my clients have been with me for years. I'm talking like since I have been an LPC, have been with me for years. Others have been with me seasonally, like they'll come for little pockets of time, then take breaks, then come back. Others have been with me for a few months and then they're done. You know, they're done with what they wanted to get out of therapy. And so we'll see what the vibes are, and I will keep you all updated, because truly, I don't know. I don't know what things are gonna look like, but I'm trying to be as preventative as possible with my practice and kind of like set things up, you know? Something fun that I'm looking forward to doing this weekend is that I'm hosting a get together with some of my friends who also happen to be therapists. And I've been getting to see a lot of my friends who also are therapists recently. And that has been so crucial for my own mental health, for our mental health, to be able to just message with each other, reach out to each other, because times are tough. And it is so important to have people in your corner who encourage you, who make you laugh, who love sharing resources. Like, I really do love the friends that I have so much. They make my life better, and I'm very, very grateful for them. So this weekend, I ended up reaching out to some of my friends that are local, and I asked them if they want to come over to my place and have like a little holiday painting movie night. And I wanted to do something like that because I feel like, let me know what y'all think again, like come closer, let me know what y'all think. But it's interesting, right? Because if you get together with therapists, like 1 or 2 things happen when we're in the room. We either start sharing our trauma with each other and just trying to support each other and listen to each other's trauma, or we start talking about work, you know? And so something that I'm really trying to prioritize with my friends who are also therapists is having moments where we take that hat off and we just enjoy each other's company. And I've noticed that that's really, really hard for a lot of people. Sometimes it's hard for me too, you know, but I've really tried to make it a goal for the past couple of years. Our conversations don't only revolve around our work. because who wants to keep talking about work? You know, when you've disconnected from it and you've already finished your 9 to 5, it's like you put yourself back into that mind space and you never left work. That's what it can feel like. And so the friends that I do have, like, we may chit chat about it a little bit, we may consult a little bit and like chat about it, but we really are trying to connect over our interests, even if they're not the same interests, and over just having fun and doing things. So I find myself that whenever I try to like get pulled into that, I have a lot of resistance toward wanting to just always talk about work. So that's something that I'm trying to be upfront with a lot of my friends about. Like, if you're here to have fun, to maybe yap a little bit about work every now and then, but mostly to have fun, I am your person. I want to just do the fun self-care activities. Let's encourage each other because our jobs are hard sometimes. But yeah, that is something that I think has come with time. Being a therapist, where you really do need to develop community that understands that and really does respect those boundaries, and that takes time to build. A lot of communication with each other, and you'd be surprised. You would think that, oh, you're all are therapists, y'all must be great at communicating, and the human behind the therapist hat still has to make the choice to want to do that, to want to be a friend, to want to be a good listener, to want to show up for each other, to want to do conflict resolution together so we can grow. All of that takes time to build. A new thing that I also ended up doing was starting therapy. So I decided to start therapy. Holidays are coming up. There's a lot of different things that I'm navigating with family and just past things that I've lived and experienced. And I wanted to be able to find my own therapist. And so we'll see how this is going to go. I've told myself I wanted to at least give myself 3 to 4 sessions with a therapist to know if they're the right fit for me. So what I chose to prioritize in finding my own therapist was someone of my same culture, because I'm not about to try to explain to someone else. Like, that's just going to take time. Maybe someone else is okay with doing that. I myself am not. Like, I want to find therapists who understands why my mom acts the way that she does, or why things are tough with certain family members, why certain things are just normal without feeling weird about that. And also, that's always just been a given for me because I've lived in the Rio Grande Valley, so I've never thought about not having a therapist who's Mexican as well, or not doing that. So that's kind of like my mentality with that, especially with how crazy things are right now. I need to know that I'm not sharing a space with a therapist who may be MAGA or something like that. Like, that would be my worst nightmare. And so I love the therapist that I found, someone who's really about community. And so one of my goals was starting EMDR therapy, and so far recommendation has been like working up to it, like first kind of assessing where my coping skills are at. And so I thought it was really funny where my therapist told me, like, I know you're a therapist, but I need to assess where your coping skills are at just to make sure. I was like, girl, yes, treat me like anybody else. That's all that I want. I need to gradually build up to feeling comfortable as well, because I noticed it right off the bat in therapy that I am the type of person who really takes time to get to know someone before I consider them a friend. Like, I take time to really see, like, are our values the same? Can I trust you? Do I feel safe with you? Do you feel safe with me? Like, it takes time for me to, I don't want to say let the walls down, but yeah, pretty much like let the walls down. If I don't know you like that, like, it takes me a little bit of time to build that trust. And so I noticed it because I'm a little bit rusty. I haven't done like actual like counseling since like high school and then like through grad school. So I'm rusty. And so coming into it, this is really what I would consider like my first time having like official, what I'm hoping is a bit more like long-term somatic type of therapy. And so in coming into it, my intake, I realized like, that did not feel comfortable for me. You know, first appointment, I felt very much like I'm a demure girl. Why are you learning all my information like right off the bat? And like, obviously I know that as a therapist, but when you're the one going through it, you're feeling all of that, right? And I do realize that that's why I love that my clients get to fill out their intake online before coming to see me, because it takes off a lot of that weight of not knowing what to say when you're put on the spot. And so I realized that being put on the spot like that, I didn't necessarily love. It felt uncomfortable. But because I'm a therapist too, I recognize that that discomfort is normal. And what I did connect with was her personality, how direct my therapist is. And so I'm just kind of sussing it out, gradually build that connection with her, because the actual rapport building and relationship building is going to take time for me. I'm not someone who's like, yeah, I just met you and immediately we've clicked. Like, I need to feel safe with you, and that takes time. So that's a new life update. This whole year for me has been all about my healthcare and medical care, and I am really proud of myself for that. I'm really grateful to be able to do that, and it's not easy. Like, having medical expenses and shit is not easy, but I'm really grateful because I wanted to have that support, especially navigating holiday things and just past experiences, really wanting to work through trauma and a lot of things. So we'll see. It's my first time doing EMDR therapy. We'll see how that goes eventually. So if you needed a reminder to put yourself first and to gradually get to a point where you are also receiving care and you are also allowing yourself to be supported, I hope you take this as your sign to know that it's okay and it's necessary for us to do that. But I also hate when other clinicians shame others because they don't recognize that some clinicians might be low income, or even if you're like middle class or like middle income, it is really hard to be able to afford different care, and people might be going through different things. So I want to encourage you that even if you can't do that right now, it's okay to take baby steps in that direction, and you shouldn't feel shame for not being able to afford those things or for not being able to do everything all at once. It's okay to take it step by step, and anyone who shames you for that is full of BS and is truly just out of touch with reality and with other lived experiences that people may have. So I just wanted to encourage you today to know that if you need it and you can, or you can get support in some way, that you allow yourself to be supported. Honestly, community is so healing. So if you are struggling financially as a clinician yourself, gradually building that little community of other counselors or other friends can be really healing. And if you don't click with someone, that's okay, because there's so many other people out there to gradually start building relationship with. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of fill you all in on what is currently going on. I see a therapy client right now at 12, and so I'm gonna go ahead and rest a little bit and get ready for that, because I've been doing like content stuff, and we will see if I can get this video uploaded today or tomorrow. We'll see. I'm really gonna try to go for some time today because I really miss getting videos out for you all. So we will see. I'm excited, and I'm trying to make most use of this in-between time. If things are kind of fluctuating with getting new clients, I'm like, you know what? I can make YouTube videos. I can use my time for other things. So I'm excited. We'll see. Take care, everyone. Take good care, okay? Our work is hard, all right? It can be hard sometimes. Take some time for yourself. Go on Do Not Disturb for a little bit if you need to. Rest your brain. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. I will see you in my next video. Bye.